learning to use technology and use it really well to get that productivity boost on the left side of the curve. Mm-hmm. But we also need the habits of making space, which is about unplugging, using technology less in an intentional, rhythmic way, where we learn to not always be online and then broaden the neurological scorecard and experiences of our life so that we can enjoy board games and cooking muffins and,
trivia,
smelling breath, fresh air, having that conversation without having to pull out YouTube to actually form that conversation. And so that stuff is really important, and we have to relearn it, which is a new thing, particularly post-COVID.
And is there a time period that return of productivity, or return of investment, shall we say, is diminished? So is it 8 hours? Is it 10 hours? At what point do we become non-productive while using tech?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a really good question. And I don't have a really strong answer from the research. For kids, we know, kids, if they spend more than 3 hours on new media outside of homework or, school, if they spend 3 hours, let's say, streaming Instagram and TikTok and videos, their suicide risk factors go up significantly. Their mental health outcomes dramatically go down. So, I mean, that's what most young people are doing. So we know that for developing minds, too much screen time definitely has a connection, at least. We don't know the causation, but it's certainly related to mood disorders, anxiety, depression. For adults, it's really hard to tell. But what I can say is that the average Australian, I think, is on cumulative total on screens 9.4 hours a day, but an office worker or someone like you and I who uses technology for business is more like 12 plus hours a day, which is the American average. Now, if you're spending 12 hours plus a day of your waking hours on a screen, well, then you're not doing something else. Okay. And the research definitely says that the things we're not doing make us happier, healthier, and more productive. So people who have strong relational connections and who form regular relationships with people in person, they live much longer than those who don't. In fact, it's almost as dangerous to not have face-to-face connections with various people than it is to start a pack-a-day cigarette habit, or to not have rehab post-cardiac surgery, or to breathe Jakarta air instead of, Tasmanian fresh air. Like, it's terrible for our long-term mortality rates, not being closely related to people in our lives. And there's so many other benefits when it comes to social connection, even fighting cancer. Women with breast cancer, their genes that modulate, like the fighting of the cancer, turn on when they're in the presence of loved ones face to face.